I have spoken. Now, I've spoken at many, many places that were primarily a Democrat platform.
Mm-hmm.
So I go wherever this my
So are you
mission takes
Democrat or
me.
Republican?
You know what I am? I am, as Kanye West would say, I'm a free thinker, baby.
Oh, uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I look at the candidate and I would encourage, and I'm always saying, vote your faith, vote your conscience. Because believe me, that is exactly what I'm going to do. I look at policy. I refuse to let myself get trapped up like that. Absolutely refuse to. I am going to look at the candidate who has the issues that impact me most, and that's how I'm going to weigh this in. And I've been given more of a platform to to just do this work that I do.
So my mom was pretty active.
Yeah, let's talk about it. Alice Johnson was on. Shout out to Mace Jackson. What's in it for the Black People Media? He had an interview with Alice Johnson today. She told her story, broke it down. But this is my first time actually listening to her story and whatever. It actually, some of the stuff that she was saying about getting in trouble with the warden and how she did a video that went live and she was breaking down the prison system and whatnot, and they was gonna throw her in the hole. It sounded like the TV show For Life with the dude who thinks he's Denzel trying to imitate Denzel the entire show. When the show was alright until 50 got on it, then they got mad corny. But it's the brother who actually worked his way through law school, through prison, and got out of jail and helped other people, whatever. But her story sounded similar to his because the same thing happened to him with the whole thing with the warden. The warden that messed with you left, and then you got a new one who really don't bang with you. It's like, did like 50 take some of the stuff out that book or her book to put on that show? I don't know. Same thing probably could happen to him. But anyways, it was a good interview. First time hearing her give her spiel, her speech. And it was real. Now, I'm comparing the contrast to this situation and Brianna Taylor's situation, right? So, on the right, you have people trying to minimize and be pro-cop and be stupid because it's like both sides are overreacting, and partly due to the media, they give the wrong pieces of information or certain things are leaked late or whatever. I blame the media for that, but it's also our fault for consuming what we know that they do this and not waiting for the full story and for full information. But on one hand, you got black people or more of the left side upset because people on the right are bringing up Breonna Taylor's past, the fact she was dating a drug dealer. I don't care what you say, you can't dismiss any of those things. Not saying that had anything to do with her death, but that's information. Like, they weren't just targeting her for no reason. She was with this dude. A person was dead behind her ex-boyfriend. She lost her job as an ENTM because of the body found in the car written her name. Like, those things did happen. On the flip side, they didn't have the drugs. The warrant wasn't right. They claimed that they didn't. They knocked, even though it was a no-knock warrant, and 12 out of the 11 people heard, didn't hear or not. Well, 12 people said no, but then one of the 12 said yeah. So there's a bunch of fuckery going on in the case, whatever. But one thing I was interesting is like the same way that more of those on the right, let's just break it down to that oversimplification, even black conservatives, they're like, she was a trap queen, she was a drug dealer, she was this and she and that. Overreacting. I think even Tucker Carlson was wrong and said that her boyfriend was a drug dealer, and it was her ex-boyfriend. But black people on the left, the same ones who are mad at conservatives and right wings for trying to smear Breonna Taylor's name, they're mad at Chuck and Shaq for pointing out factual things that didn't happen in the case. They did the same shit to Alice Johnson. Because black people have the Trump derangement syndrome, orange man bad, and they're all in their feelings and all that stuff, the fake outrage that the media tells them to have, they didn't want to give Trump any credit. They didn't want to give Kim Kardashian any credit. They didn't want to give Kanye any credit. You seen the videos online. It was really these black women that really did it. Like, no, there were 4 lawyers. She was one of them, but yes, there were 4 people on that case, and she had a whole team. As I'll probably leave a clip to the full interview. But out of our pettiness, out of our childishness, out of us trying to play politics, we said things like she was a trap queen, she deserved to be in jail, why she's not special. You watch Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer say that President Trump is abusing his powers. He shouldn't be pardoning people this way for his friends and this and that. But like, black women got to come home, but y'all on that Democrat plantation and y'all want to defend Nancy and Chuck and CNN and MSNBC saying he shouldn't have did it. Like, you hear her story, you be like, damn. Right? But I just thought it was interesting seeing, like, yeah, the conservatives are doing some fuck shit on the right with the way their language is going after her when she was the victim. Her dating somebody who sold drugs. I mean, you are a co-conspirator. You are going to get in trouble too sometimes. But Alice Johnson went to jail with no drugs, no money, no nothing for 20 plus something years just because of phone records of her telling the drug dealers where to meet up or where to go. She didn't have any contact with any of that, but she went to jail for that. So, and then black people will oversimplify that and say, well, she's a queen pin, she's a drug mule, whatever. But I just thought that contrast was interesting. It's like, well, because you don't want to give Kim Kardashian credit for what she did, and if it wasn't for her doing what she did, it would not have happened. Recall, this woman was all over Time magazine and the news, and she got picked on his council, and she was sitting there waiting for Team Barack Obama, your first half black Kenyan president, right? And he didn't do that shit. He didn't. Oh, well, Trump couldn't do anything because the Republicans wouldn't let him. Well, Trump didn't need Republicans to get this situation done with Alice Johnson, right? You had pardon powers. People say, well, Obama commuted and did this, and that. So many people more. And I'm like, well, did you read the articles about the people who said, nah, I'd rather stay in jail than take this thing? Because it came with so many restrictions getting out that it's like, you still be in prison while you out. Like, Obama wasn't taking no chances. He wasn't just letting you out. You had to do a whole program and a whole steps. And a lot of people rejected that commencement from Obama. We don't talk about that part though. But yeah, I'm gonna play a clip of her telling the story just a little bit. I'll leave a link to the full video with Mace Jackson. Go check him out. Subscribe. I do have to post a video of them breaking down the cannabis situation in Chicago and how black people overwhelmingly vote Democrat. Chicago has the most black elected officials per capita than any other city. And black people are getting screwed royally. And you have your little gay lesbian mayor, and you have, your your Democrat governor. You got, your attorney. Oh, what was her name? Oh, the chick that looked out for Jesse Smollett. So black people in Chicago are in the 16 economic indicators that determine success. Black folks are dead last in all those situations with the most black elected officials. So you do that math. Damn. But anyways, yeah, that contrast was interesting to me. How, because I remember, and something she said in her interview too, because I remember, people, again, rushed to oh, we can't let Trump get credit for this. Oh, you saw Sonny. She said it, and she's like, I'm not a prop. You seen Sonny from The View. You seen Ana Navarro get lippy with her Mexican self. Sonny, Puerto Rican ass, is talking about these black people in the pictures, and I'm sure Alice Johnson was one of them talking about these are props. She was clapped back like, I ain't a prop. I ain't even political. I'm about my tangibles. If you come to me with actual tangibles, I'll mess with you. There's a new possible president and VP coming up, and both of them have been very bad on criminal justice throughout their tenure in Congress. And neither one of them have reached out to her to talk to her to say what would we do to make this second step go forward? Because this was a bipartisan bill, so you ain't got to trash it. If Trump was gone, nobody reached out to her. Nobody talked to her. But yeah, I seen today people talking about Karen Hunter. She said something on Twitter that was stupid. I just responded so no, yeah, go vote for the person that worked, who his own vice president accused him of working too closely to white supremacists via segregation and busing. I just don't get black folks in their democratic love. Come on, son. Come on. We will demonize a black woman, a black grandmother, because she got out of jail. That wasn't her fault. She just did the right things to get out. It's not her fault that Obama didn't do it, and he could have got all this credit, and he could have got all this shine. He ain't do that. Kim K because of the relationship that Kanye has with Trump, was able to get into his ear, open the door. A couple of people was on the bandwagon, ACLU or whatever, helped out. That sister who was one of the lawyers that helped out, and she got to come home, and then she's been out, and she's been letting him know about other people that need to come out, and guess what? They at home, right? And when you hear people like black people in the Democratic Party, your black elected officials that you've given 90% of your vote to, say things like, "Well, we could have got criminal justice done with Obama was here, but nah, we're gonna wait and see what Miss Hillary gonna give us." Miss Hillary didn't win, so you sacrificed and played political football with the lives of convicts that could come home. Non-violent offenders, they could come home, but y'all wanted to play politics, and y'all wanted to say, "Let's wait for Miss Hillary and see what she's gonna do for us. She could do better than Obama." But that's the gamble you took. And not one activist, not one person who's fighting for this issue. And again, I ain't got no dog in the fight. This is criminal justice reform is not in my top 10 issues. I understand it's important. Somebody posted, I think Sarge posted, some, black men political points. And I might do my video about mine because I did have one a while back. I never uploaded it. But I'm like, this shit look like a Pookie and Ray Ray candidate joint. It's all stuff about jail and prison and stuff like that. Like, none of this stuff appeals to me. Like, what about us who are not criminals? Like, you know what I mean? But nonetheless, I'm not against it. It is important. We do have a situation. This system did hurt us disproportionately to any other group. If we go in jail for disproportionately being affected by these crime bills and crack disparities and things that Joe Biden enforced, and then Kamala Harris came in and also enforced, then we should be disproportionately getting free from prison for these things too, right? Yeah, but the fact that we really shitted on Alice Johnson, and I remember the videos, I remember the black women on YouTube just hurting their feelings because Kim Kardashian got credit for this, and it definitely elevated her stock. It did, and as she should get the credit for it, because she was the celebrity face that got to the celebrity in chief. And he did that shit. Despite how Nancy and Chuck feel about it, despite how all the people talking about he's abusing his power, he's not doing it right, she home. And she getting other black people home. And I don't understand how black Democrats can fight against that. Like, celebrate it. Accept it. No. You did the same thing to Alice Johnson that you're mad that the right wings are doing to Brianna Taylor. And again, nobody died around Alice Johnson. No money was found. No drugs were found. She wasn't a part of any of that. They didn't have the evidence to do any of that stuff. It was just all discovery and the feds and a shitty ass lawyer. There are way more compelling evidence that Brianna Taylor not just known, but she participated in what her boyfriend was doing and broke up with him, all facts. But nonetheless, that doesn't stop their investigation. Just because you stop talking to somebody in a relationship doesn't mean that whole pile of evidence goes away just because you broke up with them. They still got the evidence. They still got tapes. Again, they didn't have tapes on her. They just had the phone numbers and her phone records. And she went to jail 20-something years. And y'all want to memorialize Brianna Taylor, which, again, some of the criticism is false against her. But y'all shitted on this woman because not of anything she did herself. Because basically Obama didn't do what he was supposed to do and commute her. And he would have got the credit. But because that didn't happen, y'all went in on her. That's crazy. That's how we are. That's my people. I'm out.
Has set me free. He read my case and he saw my story and he peeled back the layers of the injustice that had taken place with me. You see, a celebrity may have gotten that audience with him, but I had to be a worthy candidate because that would still be a very big risk to let me out, and there's no telling what I might do. But then I got a letter from my ward and the captain staff. Even the women started writing to the president, begging for my release, and they're incarcerated because I was Mama Alice, I was Grandmama, I was Auntie, I was sister, I was their champion in prison, and they were so excited because if I'm fighting for them and championing for them in prison, they know I told them that I would never stop fighting for them, and I haven't. I have fought for them. I fought for change. The Lord has blessed me, literally, to have a seat at the table of many places that we haven't been able to have a seat at. So what do I do? What do you do? I'm going to take every opportunity that I can to fight for them, to bring them home, to lift up their voices, to lift up their faces, because they used to say this, can't nobody shut Miss Alice up. And that's the truth. I'm not shut up by anyone who thinks how I should conduct myself, what I should be doing, because it's not about me. It's about the people who are still locked up. And I guarantee you, there is not one of them who's going to say, Miss Alice, please don't keep fighting for us. Please don't go over there to that Democrat rally. I mean, not rally, to that platform. Don't go over there where the Republicans are. Please don't fight for me. Do you think they care who you are? They want to come home, and the community should want them to come home. They should celebrate that somebody has an opportunity to lift up the voices of their loved ones, to make a difference, a true difference. Look, this is not for my health. Because I run, my sisters, my family, my children have to tell me sometimes, Mama, slow down. But I can't slow down. I'm always telling them I'm tired. I'd rather be tired and free than rested and in prison. So I keep on fighting. I keep on going. I keep on doing. And I don't care what it takes. I just came back from the White House this week.
Now, what you doing up? Now, hold on. Hold on. So now, this is where we got to go. Because this is where we got to talk about it. So, first of all, I see tangible outcomes. I see tangible results. And, you know, I grew up, my father was a pastor, my mom, so I grew up in the church. And I know that there are people, sometimes people from Nebuchadnezzar to whoever, were not for the people necessarily, or they may not have had all the best, but God was able to use them. Talk to me about, first of all, can I just tell y'all, and I need to say this out loud, to all the white ladies who had the audacity to even open your mouth to say a word about what this sister should have did, knowing the struggles that she fought. You know, I just get offended anyway. This is What's in It for the Black People Radio, just so you know. Okay. So we just need to be clear. But I want you to address your relationship with the president. And I just want to add one component of it, and then I'm going to step back. A lot of people tell us that he's the most racist president in the history of the world, or in the history of the country. And I think he had an opportunity to kind of dispel a little bit that this week with the debate, when he could have denounced white supremacy. But I want you to talk to me about your relationship with the president and how you rationalize that with everything that's going on in the world and all the things that people are talking about and saying.
Okay. My relationship with the president, my personal relationship with the president, I have a very good relationship with the president. The president has been very kind to me. Even when he saw me running across that road and rejoining my family, I know that had a huge impact on him, because he is a family man himself. And for me, I see people, that's one of the things that even when I was in prison, Maze, people came in and others would ask him, what did you do? I wonder what she did to be here. What did she do to get that sentence? I never asked people what you did. I'd never consider a person's past. When I meet you, Maze, you have a blank page with me. I don't care what no one has said about you. You have a blank page with me. I'm going to not buy anything with your past. It's going to be me and you. And for me, with the president, he is the one who signed my freedom papers. I'm not, and I've said this, I'm not a prop. I'm not a pawn.
Say that.
I have my own mind. I make my own decisions. And I've said this, I'm 65 years old, and don't nobody tell me what to do. I have earned the right to make my own decisions, because no one has walked not one day in my shoes. So I don't care about judgment. I don't care about anything. We have conversations. I talked to him about some women who I was in prison with, who deserve to come home, and guess where they are?
Where?
At home. I talked to him on Tuesday about some others who need to come home, and I'm praying that they will come home. But I've been fighting for people constantly, but he listens to me. He listens to my opinion. You see, I don't look at politics because I'm not politically motivated. I'm motivated by the promise that I made to the women and to the men that I would never stop fighting for them. And it's really, I don't even let that be hard. I don't even read the comments. So the people who write comments about me, I don't care nothing about that. I don't care about cancel culture because I was canceled for 20 some years.
Say that. You was canceled for 20, and well, come on, keep talking.
I was canceled for 20 some years, so I don't care nothing about that. I keep my focus on what my mission is. And my thing, I look at the president, I guess I have a personal relationship with him. I can talk to him. I've been able to say this is not right, and it's listened to. So I'm a black woman. I don't know. I can't tell you how to feel, but please don't try to dictate to me how I'm supposed to feel or who I'm supposed to interact with. How many are really making a difference? I know I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. Mm-hmm. I go in, and I've been treated very kindly. Nobody is paying me for this. I go in because I have been set free. I've been set free, and I have a duty. Not only a duty, I have an obligation. Because I'm going to tell you, when that First Step Act, that was literally my case, will go down in history as being on the timeline, my freedom being the catalyst, because that changed the way the president looked at sentencing reform. He said, I don't want to see another Alice Johnson who has to spend it. He said, bring me sentencing reform. And he was able to convince the people who were more conservative that this is the right thing to do. Now, do you think that in a fight, that in a war, because it has been not only a war on drugs, but a war on the African-American family, a war on the black family is what it became, because it's disproportionately impacted us more than any other race. And so whatever, I don't make no excuses, and nor do I give an apology about, look, I wish I would.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask, have any members of the Democratic Party, has Kamala Harris, has Joe Biden, has anybody reached out to you on the Democratic side to assist you in your fight for really fixing this problem? It seems to me that, like, perhaps Joe Biden, or as a sponsor of the crime bill, would be reaching out to you as well to figure out how they could reform. Any outreach from anybody on the other side of the line?
No.
None? Not even. No, come on now. I'm just saying.
Okay, name them. Name them unless.
I'm just saying. You saying to me that with the focus on criminal justice reform that we have in this world, like not even Hakeem Jeffries has called you and said he had to. Come on.
Well, let me tell you about Hakeem Jeffries. I was the nominator for Hakeem Jeffries and Doug Collins because the First Step Act was a bipartisan bill that was passed. People have come together and they, on both sides, say that this is wrong. And so I nominated Hakeem Jeffries. I've met him. I'm a big fan of his.
Man, I'm a big fan of his too.
I nominated Hakeem Jeffries and Doug Collins for the advocates